All right, so we have all heard multiple definitions of God, but I came across Professor Balki's hypothesis.
It's not, I'm going to evade the question, of course, as one always would. But I'm going to tell you my theory of God. Are you ready for it? I think God is a point executing Brownian motion on the positive number line.
God is a point executing Brownian motion on the positive number line. And his full code is here. He goes on to explain like what will pull you towards. So let's say you're an atheist and then there's some pain that occurs in your life or in your body, and then you're not able to handle it, and suddenly your belief in God increases a little bit more. And on the other extreme, so like we can see how this will work out. See, so the more pain you're going towards the omnipotent God or the belief in God. And then the more injustice that you see, and then there's no definition for that, or a relief is not in sight, then you're going more and more towards atheism. But the interesting thing here is it's really about God's effect on this singular point, and the singular point is an individual, and the representation of an individual is usually an identity. So my extension is that this motion is a special case of something deeper. Identity itself behaves like a wave function between nothing and everything. So if I remove the belief lens over here, then you can see the nothingness, the nirvana shatakam, right? Like neti neti, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not my body, I'm not my soul, I'm not my thought, all those things that leads to the nothingness. And the other extreme is the Atman Brahman, where the highest version of oneself is realizing that you're not a drop in the ocean, but you're an ocean in a drop. So that's the Atman Brahman, where the boundary dissolves, and that is everything. So you become everything. But in reality, it's for people who are accustomed to quantum physics and quantum mechanics, you would understand that this two extremes are nothing but the boundaries that we are setting to have mathematical computations possible, right? But in essence, it's in a three-dimensional structure. One extreme is leading to the other thing. So you as in an identity is an probabilistic distribution between this nothingness and everything. And that's what we are trying to show here. There's also a swarm way of looking at the same thing instead of a wave format. This, I think, kind of then will, put all this superposition and everything in place. So if you apply a random event, so you are somewhere in between all these different states, and then one random event occurs, and your identity collapses to that particular moment. Like right now, I am talking like a human with the English language and an accent of an Indian. And I could play around with this, by the way. Um, so if I say the target is so much, then it's going to push me towards something else, right? And you can also have certain learnings that can happen over here. So let's say some health scares happen, then what's a ritual that you do? And based on that, once you lock the truth, then the identity collapses based on that as well. So I was just playing around with it. I thought I'll share it with you guys. I would love to know what you guys think of this. And if there are any blind spots, please point that out. This is just a hypothesis, but I would love to know what you guys think about Professor Balkrishna's lecture and this interpretation or extension on top of that as well. Thank you for listening and your attention.